in it. You could just pick a lot and build what you wanted to. New construction was that go-to. Then new construction dried up. And then they found themselves with a backlog of homes that they needed to build.
A large chunk, a large percentage of homes that are on the market have not yet been built.
Hi, it's Natasha with SoldByNat.com, associate broker with Virtual Properties Realty in Georgia. I would love to give you guys a sit-down, proper background scenery video, but today you're getting a ride-along video. I am on my way to an appointment. And I need to get this out to you guys while it's fresh. And yeah, it's what's going on in new construction, the craziness. Yeah, so in particular, these clients, we first went under contract in March of 2021. And ideally, I would love to bring you this video after it's all resolved, but I don't know when that's gonna be. Like, we're going to this meeting, but we really don't know what's gonna happen. So let me just go back a bit. So at this moment, it is July 22nd, 2021. And again, we went under contract in March of 2021. And at the time we wrote the contract, you know, they told us, hey, we're going to write this contract for phase 2. We're currently in phase 1. We don't know when we're going to start, so we don't have an end date, but we're going to go ahead and write this contract. They gave us a price, everything. So months we sat waiting for them to say, okay, we're about to start. When we finally did hear from them, it was not the news that we wanted to hear. We heard from them, and they were saying, first, we heard from them in June. The first time the on-site agent said, you know, the price is going to increase. The price is going to increase. The builder had, you know, is experiencing an increase in costs, which we knew because that's what's going on pretty much all around. And I'm going to have to put up the air so that the phone doesn't die from the heat. But we knew that's what's going on. And you guys know that's what's going on because I'm seeing it in the comments on videos. It's across the board with different builders.
Now, the home builders are still citing elevated building material prices and supply shortages. Shortages of land, labor, and materials continue to push home prices higher, sidelining some buyers. Now, while lumber prices have fallen more than 50%, those savings have not yet trickled down to the builders, remodelers, or consumers. Supply chain issues as well as inventory with suppliers are keeping retail prices elevated. Now, regionally, sentiment fell everywhere except in the South, where it was unchanged.
And yes, and I'm going to come back there as to why and what happened. But yeah, that's the first thing they came to us with, and the buyers were like, man, if they were going to tell us it was an increase, I wish they could have told us like how much of an increase it was going to be. So a week went by and they came back again. And this time they came back with, you know, we're going to cancel contracts and we're going to give back earnest money. But with this cancellation of the contract, we're going to put you first in line for when the house is complete. So we're still going to go ahead and build the house. You are first in line when this house is complete. And when we have a new price, if you guys want to go forward with it, you are first in line. If not, you are not obligated to move forward. So on one hand, it gives you some hope. On the other hand, it's like, how much of an increase is it gonna be? So that's pretty much where we're at. Spoke to my clients yesterday, you know, talked to them about how much they could stomach of an increase. And I just had to let them know the increases that I have seen aren't like $5,000. Like, I had an increase from the time that they went on the waiting list with a particular builder to the time they actually got the call and said, yes, we're releasing the house. It was a $20,000 increase. Another buyer, we went into contract in April. they called and said, hey, we're going to terminate contracts. That's a whole nother story, but let me just throw it in here. Went under contract in April. They contacted us in July. We're waiting for them to do things. They're like, oh, we're waiting on permits. My savvy buyer contacted the permit department. So nugget here, I can't even take credit for that. He contacted the permit department and was like, they already got the permit. So we think they were just kind of buying time, trying to figure out things and what to do, because they're trying to figure out stuff too as the market was changing and shifting, and costs and vendors and all of that. So they finally came and were like, we're going to cancel the contract. And I'm like, hey, before you cancel, like, can you tell us what the new price is? And the agent said,
we were getting new prices at first, but then people started telling us it was extortion.
So we just decided to cancel contracts. And I was like, well, can you tell me the price? Because I know that's what my buyer is going to ask. And she came back with a price. She was like, this price is just for your buyer. If he does not proceed, when this house goes back on the market, it's going to be even more than this. So I'm just going to say that price was over $50,000 more. This is what is happening with new construction right now. The market is crazy. Like, it started in resale. People got fed up with resale and putting in all these offers and just the process. And if you haven't seen these videos that I did on that, I will insert them here. They'll be in the description box. And people went to new construction because new construction used to always be that go-to. You could always go to new construction and they would have something available or something coming up. And if they didn't, you could just pick a lot and build what you wanted to. New construction was that go-to. Then new construction dried up. And then they found themselves with a backlog of homes that they needed to build.
A large percentage of homes that are on the market have not yet been built. Last time you and I talked, I think it was 26% of homes on the market hadn't even been built yet. Is that still true, and will that continue?
Yes, and that's another factor in this potential problem. A lot of builders have sold homes and signed contracts to get homes built, and now they're getting increases in their lumber prices, their other material prices. They have to go back to the buyer and say, I'm sorry, but this is what's going on. And we could actually see some of those contracts canceled. In fact, we are seeing them canceled.
So what I think happened, builders were like, okay, we got to figure this out. I think that's why they implemented moratoriums where they said, hold on, we're not writing any contracts for a while. And then they experienced the increased costs.
A woman who put her life savings into her dream home says the builder is now demanding an extra $30,000 weeks before closing. We've told you how construction prices are soaring in Metro Atlanta. And as Channel 2's Dave Huddleston explains, this is not a unique circumstance.
So now, and I spoke about this in another video, I had a client that wrote months before, and by the time they closed with $30,000 in equity, $40,000 in equity. So builders are like, no, we're leaving a lot of money on the table, allowing people to write these contracts, and they're under contract for so long. So now they're like, well, how do we not leave money on the table? So I'm hearing of different things. Builders are now writing in the contract, they have the option to increase the price. If the house appraises for more, the person has to pay that new appraised price. Like, I'm hearing different things like that. Other things that I'm hearing, and I have this written down because my plan was to do a sit down video, but again, I'm driving. I'm going to get this information out. Other things, like there's one builder, Starlight Homes, they are not releasing homes until the house is in framing. So a lot of them are doing that. Independent spoke to the agent over there yesterday. They have a wait list going on, and he was like, when they do release, they're going to be in the framing stage. Why are builders doing that? Because by that time, they have a good idea of what their costs are going to be. And mind you, they get their costs from vendors. So if the vendors are going up on them, they're either eating that cost and losing out, or they have to pass it on to you.
Clark says it can be a tough situation for both sides here. The market is so hot right now that someone else may be willing to pay the extra $30,000. And costs for builders, especially for local ones like Sunrise, can be so high that if they don't pass the cost on, they'll be out of business in a year's time.
So I know the question that you're wondering is, let's go back to the client whose appointment I'm headed to, where they said they're going up on the price. They had already given us a price. Can they do that? This is the tricky part, because I'm going to insert in the description box, see down below, where there have been people that have fought builders, they're suing builders. Some people are like, I don't have time for that. Like, I just need a house.
It's a money play. Because I know I have common sense if, so to be fair, we're not going to you guys know when we pay for our house, but what we got our house for was under market. Because the moment we got our house for, them prices shot up $10,000. Easily.
The next day.
Within 2 weeks, the prices went up $30,000. That's a fact. This is what was going on. Now today, the house is worth $50,000 more than what we signed for.
It's not worth $50,000.
It's not worth it, but it's sold for that, which is meaning that's the value of the home. So you think back, okay, well, I'm not even knocking them for getting $50,000 more, $50,000 more dollars for a home that they were going to get.
They wanted us out of that contract so they can sell it for more money. And the lawyer said, this is what builders do. The
lawyer said verbatim, hey, in this climate, because of COVID, because all these loopholes, they can do this, but they can't do this because technically the contract you guys signed.
Some contracts, they're written a certain way. Some contracts, it's not in there. Like in our particular contract, we were gonna need to do an amendment anyway for the closing, because remember, we wrote it as, we don't know when it's gonna start, so we don't know when it's gonna end. So there was gonna need to be some adjusting to this contract anyway, but there was a clause in there that said that if buyer and seller don't come to an agreement, the seller can terminate the contract and the buyer get back their earnest money. So that's really the only thing that we found that they could hang their hat on. So yeah, we are headed to this appointment in faith. In faith that when they finish this house and come out with this new price, it is still gonna be within my buyer's budget, their plan, which I am in agreement with, because where two or more agree, all right? You guys know, is to pray and save. To pray and save that things are gonna work out. So yeah, that's what's going on with new construction and this market. So you guys might be thinking, well, this is too crazy. Just don't buy, just wait. Wait till when?
The remaining 13. Why did you stop?
Well, anyone trying to buy a new house right now knows they're likely going to compete with many other offers, may even be put on a wait list. 5 on your side's Monica LaLiberty joining us live now in Raleigh with the latest on the new construction struggle. Monica?
Oh, and David, you know, when we first started looking into new construction, doing research, we learned that lots in many proposed communities are sold well into next year. But if you look here in this community, all of these for sale signs here and over here, they do not say sold. And that is because the builder stopped selling lots. The GM telling us it may be one of the scariest things his company has ever done. It's the first home to go up. This prime North Raleigh location has 27 lots.
14 are sold and we stopped sales.
Even though buyers are willing to pay big for one of the remaining 13. Why did you stop?
Because we're not able to keep up with the demand we have.
Chip Bishop is general manager of Roebuck Homes, a local builder that's been in business almost 100 years. Would you ever imagine you would stop selling lots in your community?
No. No, I wouldn't. It's even under the current market conditions, it may be one of the scariest things we've ever done.
Serious supply issues play into that decision and triggered rapidly changing costs. We asked what's increased on that home behind him.
Everything. You know, the roofing, the windows, the siding, the framing, the insulation, the drywall especially. I mean, every single part of that home has jumped in price.
The market is absolutely crazy.
Anita Herring of Durham contacted 5 on Your Side with her home buying shocker with a different builder. She signed a purchase agreement, put money down,
picked out carpet, tile, color of the house.
Then got word from the sales agent.
Can't sell you the home at that price because the construction cost has gone up.
The builder said he had to up the price $9,000.
I was like, what?
She pulled out of the deal. Another issue she and other buyers face, wait lists.
So you're just adding your names to these different lists, hoping you can jump in and be able to purchase your home.
A&G Residential in Fayetteville says their wait list is at least 8 months. Caruso Homes is doing lotteries for lots in its Cary neighborhood. In Johnston County, West End Homes stopped pre-sales so they can accurately price homes closer to completion. Same for Chip Bishop, who says customers eventually buying here won't be able to move in till next year. He says, simply put, demand for homes in the Triangle way outpaces supply.
We usually have between 7,000 and 9,000 homes in MLS. Now we're running around 1,500.
That's unbelievable.
It's something I've never seen before.
With no sign of a slowdown.
Price is going through the roof. It really is. And I think we're a long way from seeing the top. So if you can get a home, now's the time to do it.
And that is provided you are ready to do battle. And if that is you, make sure you have your financial situation in order, that you have a tough skin, and you are ready to be very persistent in checking new home availability. David?
You know, we both have been here 27 years. Deborah's been here almost 30. Never seen anything like this. Just astonishing. Monica, thank you.
No kidding. And no end in sight. Back to you.
Wait till what? If you have the luxury and the option of waiting and seeing, and you can take that chance, go ahead. But what if you wait and prices continue to increase? I know I met with some agents the other day, and I was just like, what do y'all think is going to happen? And they were like, yeah, they don't see it going back down, because they're like, Georgia has been one of the lowest places to buy in for a while. They feel like it's been overdue that prices needed to go up. So I'm like, you got a point. Because everywhere else, prices have been up. So I'm like, wow, you do have a point. So what if this is the new normal? We don't know. Nobody has a crystal ball. So yeah, I'm just going to tell you guys, save, work on your credit, be in a position to get a good interest rate. So your credit needs to be high, and save so that you're coming to the table with some funds and you have some options. So I think that was everything. Oh, one question I know somebody left on a video, and they were like, you know, I'm on a wait list and I'm just waiting, and the builder's not doing anything. They're not building. They're just saying they're waiting on permits. We're just waiting. Like, what do we do? And I responded, and I was like, you know, if that builder will honor that price of the contract, wait, like, because you leave that and then you go somewhere else, you don't know what that contract is going to look like, or if you're going to get a call back on a lot, or what number you are on the waiting list. So I'm not saying don't pursue it or don't look elsewhere, but before you remove yourself from that builder, you know, properly explore all your other options. And it's putting people in a really, really tough position, because, you know, I have someone that needs to give notice to her complex by a certain date, and builders over here like, we should have something by June, July. Then it went to July, August. Still, you know, still waiting, and we just don't know. It's just an interesting time with new construction. Very different from how it was. I'm gonna wrap up here, and yeah, I'll update you and let you guys know, like, I'll bring you more on what's going on and what's going on in the market. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Thank you guys for watching. Guys, have a positive, peaceful... Wait, before I do that, let me tell you guys an interesting story. The last time I met with these clients when they went under contract in March, on the way there, I ended up getting a migraine, like a bad migraine, like aura. And it was my first time meeting them, and I did not want to cancel. So I stopped at the chiropractor, I got an adjustment, and I drank something that had some ginger in it, and I'm just like, you know, I hadn't had one in so long. Mind you, I had stopped my migraine medicine, and I was like, oh, I think I'm good now. That was the wrong thing to do months prior, so yeah. So I continued on to my appointment, suffered through the appointment. I apologized to them because I know I look like a hot mess trying to get through this appointment. Got through the appointment. At the end of the appointment, I was like, you know what? I just need to just pull over. I need to just lay down. I just need to get a nap before I drive home because it's like a 40-minute drive. So I got the bright idea to pull over in the cut, still within the subdivision. That was actually the spot where I went and parked after my migraine. Not my finest moment. Pulled over and figured I was gonna go to sleep. The meeting ended about 2 or 3. And I figured I was gonna go to sleep and drive home. Needless to say, that did not happen. I must have forgot how bad migraines are. It was bad, and I suffered for several hours to where my husband was texting me like, where are you at? Trying to find my location. By that time, my visual is gone. I can't fully communicate to him in text. Visually, I can't see, and then things are just not registering. If you ever had a bad migraine, you know. So I'm trying to text him where I'm at, but then he figured that out. And him and my mom had to drive all the way out 8 o'clock at night to come and get me and drive the car back. So yeah, that is what happened the last time I went to meet them. So today's a new day. Learn from me, agents. Don't do that if you're not feeling well. Yeah, I still didn't want to cancel, but I probably should have made it home instead of pulling over. That was not the wisest, safest thing to do. Anyway, I'm really gonna sign out here. Have a positive, peaceful, and productive day. Bye. Oh, do not enter. My bad. Listen, you think all the cars facing me would be a solid indicator.